What's up, everyone? If you're still recovering from that absolutely insane Season 1 finale of The Day of the Jackal, you're definitely not alone. Peacock's spy thriller had us all glued to our screens for those intense 10 episodes, and let me tell you, that ending left us with so many questions. Season 1 recap and impact. For those who need a quick refresh, Season 1 was all about this epic cat-and-mouse chase between our master assassin Jackal and the absolutely relentless British intelligence officer, Bianca Pullman. But here's the kicker. While he's dodging bullets and outsmarting MI6, Jackal is also desperately trying to keep his secret identity intact in front of his wife Nuria, who knows him as the perfect husband, Charles. And wow, did both of those storylines come to some absolutely explosive and completely unexpected conclusions. But with so many loose ends still dangling, we've all been dying to know what's next. Season 2 renewal and release information. Well, I've got great news. Back in November 2024, we got the official word that The Day of the Jackal is coming back for Season 2. Now, here's what we know about the timeline. Filming is set to kick off in January 2026, and they're going big with locations including Budapest, Croatia, and London. So mark your calendars, because we're looking at an early 2027 premiere for Season 2. Main plot focus, Jackal's family crisis. Now let's talk about where Season 2 is headed, because things are about to get really personal for our assassin. At the end of Season 1, Jackal finds himself in a situation he's never faced before. This guy has spent years picking up assassination jobs and completing them without breaking a sweat. In his downtime, he's been living this fantasy domestic life as Charles, with his wife Nuria by his side. But that intense rivalry with Bianca Pullman, it completely turned his world upside down. By the time he managed to shake off all the chaos from that job, he'd already lost control of his personal life. The moment Nuria realized that the real Jackal was hiding behind her picture-perfect husband Charles, she grabbed their newborn son Carlitos and ran to keep them both safe. Season 2's emotional journey. So Season 2 is definitely going to center on this huge crack in Jackal's carefully constructed life. Based on how Season 1 ended, we know the next season will pick up with Jackal hunting down Nuria and Carlitos. But here's the thing. This isn't going to be just another simple job for him. Even if he manages to track down his family pretty quickly, the real challenge is going to be winning back Nuria's trust. Think about it from her perspective. She just discovered that her entire life with her husband was built on lies. Of course, she's going to be terrified of trusting him with their son's life, or even her own. But here's what's really interesting. Despite everything that's happened, it looks like Jackal hasn't given up on their relationship. So we can expect Season 2 to dive deep into a completely different side of their dynamic. And get this, to win his wife back, the assassin might actually have to open up about his past, which could give us way more of his backstory. Returning cast members. Now let's talk cast, because there are some big changes coming. The good news? Redmayne is absolutely returning as our titular Jackal. The Oscar-winning actor has actually talked about how he signed on to this project, hoping it would become a multi-season series, so there's no doubt he'll be back to lead the story. Úrsula Corberó will also definitely be returning as Nuria, since the new season is going to focus so heavily on the assassin's personal life. But here's the heartbreaking news. We won't be seeing Lashana Lynch return as Bianca, since her character met that tragic end in the Season 1 finale. New antagonists and familiar faces. But don't worry, because with Bianca out of the picture, we're definitely getting a new rival to challenge our international assassin. And this new enemy might actually be a familiar face. Remember my 6 agents, Osita Halcrow, played by Chukwudi Iwuji, and Vince Pine, played by Nick Blood? They've already crossed paths with Jackal, so they could definitely step up as major threats. Or, and this is exciting, the show might finally introduce Claude Lebel, who was the assassin's famous rival in both the original novel and film. Since they're filming partly in London, we might also see some familiar MI6 faces return. And we can definitely expect Eleanor Matsuura to return as Xena and Charles Dance as Timothy Winthorp. since their characters are still very much part of the ongoing story. The Winthorp problem and potential partnerships. Speaking of Timothy Winthorp, there's one storyline that's definitely going to continue into Season 2, and it's going to be huge. Remember how Jackal was hired by Winthorp to assassinate Uladag Charles? Xena was the liaison between them, and even though Jackal completed the job despite all the complications, Winthorp completely screwed him over on the payment. But it gets worse. In a move of pure self-preservation, Winthorp actually put bounties on both Jackal and Xena to eliminate them permanently. Fortunately, both of them managed to escape with their lives, which means Winthorp is now at the top of their hit list. Jackal's evolution and future storylines. Now here's where things get really interesting. Even though Jackal says his priority is finding his family, it's totally possible that he might team up with Xena to deal with the Winthorp problem. We've only gotten hints so far about the assassin potentially working with someone and dropping his lone wolf persona, so this could be a really fascinating direction to explore. Plus, this partnership could also open up storylines involving Gary, who was Jackal's old spotter back when he was living as Alexander Duggan. There's so much potential here for diving deeper into his past. What to expect? So there you have it. Season 2 of The Day of the Jackal is shaping up to be an absolute wild ride. We're looking at a much more personal story focused on Jackal's shattered family life, potential new partnerships, unfinished business with dangerous enemies, and hopefully a lot more backstory about our mysterious assassin. With filming starting in January 2026 and a likely early 2027 release, we've got a bit of a wait ahead of us. But based on everything we know so far, it's going to be absolutely worth it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates on The Day of the Jackal and all your favorite shows.